Hello everybody, welcome to Snyder's Inc. And today we have got a Tragedy Tales video, and this is Lethal Live, 5 Horrifying Live Streams, number 3. And we won't get right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button, subscribe, and comment what you think down below. If you'd like to help the channel out with a donation, you can leave a super thanks or link to our PayPal's in the description. Let's go.
Less than 20 years ago, the idea of being able to broadcast yourself across the entire world at the tap of a button was almost unimaginable. However, in 2015, the world changed when Twitter released a live streaming app called Periscope to the masses. That same year, Facebook copied, and then Instagram. All of a sudden, anyone with a decent smartphone could live stream at any time and any place. Since then, live streaming has only gotten more prolific. Almost all social media apps have added the ability to broadcast at a moment's notice, but because of the ease of access and the sheer amount of streams that are going on, it goes without saying that some of these turn fatal. But hey folks, and welcome back to the channel. Of course, I'm Ryan.
I apologize for those if you can hear there's a lawnmower going off in my outside. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it, but if you can hear it, that's what it is.
In from Tragedy Tales, and this week, once again, we're going to take a gander at 5 live streams that turned fatal. From the gamer who pushed it too far playing World of Tanks, to the gentleman who accidentally captured his own murder. This week, we're going to take a look at some of the most infamous live streams that will leave you on the edge of your seat. So, you guys know the drill. Grab a drink and draw the curtains. Let's get right into it. Streams can actually be an effective deterrent against crime, because who in their right mind is going to commit an illegal act right on camera, on live, knowing that number 1, you're being recorded, number 2, you're live, and number 3, the viewers are all going to report you to the police. However, in this case, being live didn't protect anyone. This live stream still turned fatal. The stream in question began on February the 26th, 2018. On a day much like any other in Wingate, North Carolina. The sun was shining brightly, but an air of impending tragedy loomed. In Wingate lived Prentice Robinson, a 55-year-old musician who was known in his community for his kindness, generosity, and remarkable talent. Friends and family described him as one of the nicest people that they'd ever met. He was always willing to help anyone who needed it, and never bothered anyone unnecessarily.
This, seems like a very nice guy. Seems like he's the nicest guy that people have ever met. Shame that to the nicest people, that's when all bad stuff has to happen.
He'd constantly go live on Facebook, and these lives were typically filled with joy and happiness, featuring Prentice playing his guitar, sharing his music, and interacting with his viewers. Sometimes he'd wander outside, and this is when he'd shout at drug dealers who he believed were in the process of a shady deal. He did this in an effort to make his local community safer, a very selfless, noble, and dangerous thing to do. However, on that fateful day of February the 26th, at approximately 10 AM, Prentice went live on Facebook, as he usually did, and in this stream, it showed him walking around Wingate with his trusty selfie stick, wearing one of his straw hats. As he wandered around, he spoke to visitors, and shortly after the stream began, he visited his local police station to report one of his phones stolen. He spoke to the police chief, who urged the thief to return his phone. Shortly after this conversation, he left the police station and walked up a hill on Booker Street towards his home, still continuing his live stream. He appeared calm and had a smile on his face. However, at approximately 5.5 minutes into the stream, all of a sudden, a hooded man emerged from the bushes. Prentice jumped out of his skin and quickly turned his camera towards the man and said that he was on live, hoping to use the live broadcast as a deterrent. He repeated this warning multiple times, emphasizing the presence of an audience, but this didn't seem to make any difference. The hooded man approached swiftly, brandishing a long-barreled gun. In a terrifying turn of events, despite Prentice's repeated warnings, the assailant raised the weapon. The livestream captured the chilling moment as 4 gunshots rang out, echoing through the street.
There's a move from here.
So this guy wasn't even trying to rob him. This guy was just literally there to kill him. Like, that was straight murder. This is the guy who literally just went there, literally had no reason to do it other than the fact he just wanted to kill him.
Go to Atlanta. Charlotte ain't far enough. Gotta get your damn ass killed. You don't lie. You don't lie. You don't lie. You don't lie.
The stream showed his phone falling, capturing the fleeing suspect, showing the sky before abruptly ending. Later that day, Prentice was found face down in the street, and he was tragically pronounced dead at the scene. While police teams desperately searched for who had done it, the following day, the mystery of Prentice's killer began to unravel itself. A man named Douglas Cleveland Colson, a 65-year-old lifelong resident of Wingate, turned himself into the local sheriff's office. Now, Colson had a history of arrests, and it was later revealed that Prentice had previously accused him of selling drugs in the area. Here, he admitted to shooting Prentice. Colson was charged with...
So he accused him of... So someone accused you of doing drugs, so your response is to commit full-on murder live. And then make it so even if you weren't, you were going to go to jail. Now you're completely going to jail. Unbelievable.
First-degree murder and held without bond, awaiting trial. Friends and family were devastated, struggling to comprehend how such a kind-hearted and harmless man could meet such a violent end. His commitment to exposing local drug dealer activity, while it stemmed from good intentions, ultimately led to his tragic demise. This story is a prime example of the significant risks faced by those who decide to partake in vigilante activities. Prentice wasn't Batman, and nobody can predict this. In my opinion, just don't get involved, report it to the police. It's not worth losing your life over.
I can't put a smile on your face. I started smiling once I saw this part.
Sunday afternoon at my jam session. Y'all have a nice man. I might come and do nothing later. I'm gonna get G'd up and stuff. I might do one. I got some dates. I don't know. Till then, love y'all. Outie.
This unbelievably tragic entry begins in September of 2023. 23-year-old Italian Vincent
September 2023, oh, this is very recent.
Pellicci, known to his legion of TikTok fans as Inquisitor3, was riding high on his popularity. Now, Vincent was renowned for his intricate Call of Duty cosplays, especially featuring the character of Ghost. Vincent was, according to his fans, a beautiful soul who only spread positivity. By midway through 2023, he'd already amassed a considerable following on TikTok. These fans would watch him perform cosplays and other Call of Duty related content. This was all before a nightmare unfolded. In September of 2023, accusations emerged suggesting that Vincent had engaged in inappropriate communications with a minor. He was accused of grooming a person named AJ, a 17-year-old who had previously worked as Vincent's video editor. Long story short, we haven't got all day. After editing, Vincent spoke to AJ kind of inappropriately. He called her honey and said, "I love you," in response to an amazing edit that she'd made. Now, at this time, it's assumed that 23-year-old Vincent did know of AJ's age, because a day after these messages, Vincent and his friend were talking about AJ, with Vincent acknowledging her age, saying that she was too young and too far. Of course, AJ didn't really like Vincent talking to her like this, so she soon quit. Now fast forward 6 months later, AJ and her 21-year-old boyfriend named Tito, who also had a following online by the name of Tito is Acting Badly, together hatched a plan to out Inquisitor as a P3do. When they did this, all the pair had were the messages of Vincent saying honey and I love you, so they had basically nothing. So they decided that they needed to get more proof. After coming up with a devious plan, AJ messaged Vincent again. This time she was way more forward, saying hello, I love you, and date me, to which Vincent actually ignores. In these messages, AJ says that we can get to know each other, saying that she's now not a minor, and Vincent again flat out refused, rejecting her advances twice. It even said no minors on his TikTok page. So instead of accepting that Vincent was in fact innocent and that her previous messages meant nothing, instead AJ doubled down and turned to another TikToker by the name of Keegan's Mask. AJ armed Keegan with the initial screenshots of Vincent saying I love you and honey, but did not make Keegan aware of the recent messages of Vincent denying her advances. Of course,
AJ, I hate to be the one to tell you this. I honestly mean this. AJ, I hate to be the one to tell you this. Your desperation to inform a guy's people that he is that is very sad. I don't know if it's the boyfriend getting to you, but what the fuck are you thinking? Look, he said weird things, I will admit that, but like, holy shit, it made it crystal clear he turning down the messages he gave you were just weird things he said, but it wasn't to be taken what it was, but you somehow turning you down. I think what happened, right? Here's what I think happened. See, you were just there to prove he was a pedophile. Then he said no to you, and somehow your ass got insulted by the fact that he said no to you. Like, AJ, your ego somehow still got involved because you got mad that he turned you down, didn't you? And then you felt the need you had to get, then you made it even worse, then you had to really make it ruin his life.
Of course, this was a recipe for disaster. Shortly after, Keegan went and posted a TikTok outing Inquisitor with basically no evidence other than these stupid, silly messages. Despite Vincent repeatedly saying that the messages were in fact misconstrued, the internet is the internet. The allegations still gain traction.
That's the problem with the fucking internet. That's the problem. This is why I hate the internet. Because this stupid world, the stupid people, cannot take innocence as innocence. In a people's mind, when someone says you've done something, if police and everyone say that you haven't done it, they will still just go, nah, you did it. Now one person said it and everyone else is wrong. Like, you can't. We went from the world of innocent to proven guilty. It's guilty even when proven innocent. Because the internet is fucking stupid. And most people on the internet are fucking stupid.
And the story spread like wildfire. As the backlash escalated, Inquisitor's social media was being bombarded with hateful comments and direct messages calling him nasty names and accusing him of horrible things. Eventually, the abuse from all sides was enough, and Vincent deleted his TikTok account. But on the fateful night of October the 9th, 2023, the Inquisitor 3 TikTok account was seemingly reactivated, and Vincent initiated a livestream. The stream began, showing an ominously dark and empty room, leaving viewers perplexed and uneasy. The disabling of comments only heightened the eerie mood. The stream continued like this for a while, before suddenly, the sound of breaking glass shattered the quiet. It was actually Vincent's father, who had been contacted by watchers of the stream, but by the time he'd arrived, it was far too late. To his absolute horror, Vincent was found hanging from his living room ceiling fan. He was cut down, and a member of Vincent's family desperately started CPR. In the background, another person was frantically calling for help, shouting in Italian for emergency services, saying, "Where is the ambulance?" By the time the paramedics arrived, Vincent was dead. What happened, and the things that led up to this very moment, shocked his family to their core. It was only a couple days ago that Vincent had confided in them, saying how stressed he was about the whole ordeal, but they never thought he'd do something like this. His fans were left in a state of disbelief.
You happy, AJ? Did you get what you wanted? Was what you happy on that? Is this what you wanted? This is what you want to do when you just fucking nothing happens? Is this what you wanted? When you just bombard someone with hate, say the most unbelievable things and insults? Are you happy about this? Did y'all get what you wanted? Y'all just super happy? Fucking be ashamed of yourselves for causing this. AJ, all of you.
Mourning the loss of a beloved figure that had been the victim of unwarranted abuse. If AJ and Tito had not tried to do what they did, Vincent would almost certainly still be here. Soon after the stream, because of the content of what was last posted, Vincent's TikTok account was permanently banned, meaning all of his videos are no longer accessible. This whole heartbreak caused the wider TikTok community to rally and unite to honour his memory and bring those responsible to justice. The folks who messaged, commented and barraged Vincent with all the hate were now suddenly nowhere to be seen. Blindly following content creators is never a good idea, so always think twice before you drop that comment.
There's thinking no one fucking thinks twice. No one says anything. It never crossed your mind that what you could be saying, because in your mind, it doesn't fucking matter. And he's guilty. He did it. He totally did it. Whatever's him, it doesn't matter. He did it. Like it's so weird how no one can be told. Like you could have no evidence. Someone could just say it, and the world be like, yeah, okay, yeah, he must have done it. No, but yeah, it's fine. No, he did it. She said it, so it must be true. Like, fucking dumb. Because even the woman who posted that, the one TikTok who actually posted it, which caused the whole thing to take off, she should be ashamed of herself. How the fuck did you just take what chat as the most... That chat is so vague. Those chats are so vague that it doesn't even... Like, you could no way should have ran with that. You should have asked for more. Everyone, AJ, the dipshit Tito, and fucking the girl who posted Troll be ashamed of himself for this.
Of course, the real people who are to blame are AJ, her boyfriend Tito, and Keegan, who spread the false rumours.
Agreed.
All three have yet to face any consequences.
Of course.
In real life, if you accuse someone of something like this, and it's a false accusation, you go to prison.
Keegan will get out of it. Keegan, out of all the people, could get out of it. Even though she should have had shit done, she should have done what she'll be the one to get out of it, even though she fucking shouldn't. Keegan should be... Keegan was fucking terrible at her fucking shit. If her thing is to expose fucking pedos or whatever, she fucking actually was terrible at her job. She's terrible at her job. I don't know what she thinks, but that's a great example of her terrible at her job she is.
But on the internet, it seems to be a wild west. If you're going to accuse someone of something as serious as this, you better make damn sure that you have rock solid evidence. And in this case, the evidence that they had was jelly, built on sand, based on a couple of stupid, silly messages.
Yep.
In the aftermath, of course, all three blamed each other. Keegan made a public statement saying that she wasn't to blame.
Hold on. I acted on what I thought was true factual information from someone I trusted. Bullshit, you absolutely shouldn't have. You should never just take someone at their word, no matter how much you know them, especially when it's something to the state of this. So that's on you. At no point do I wish harm against Inquisitor, and it hurts me to hear the news of his passing. I really doubt it. I will not accept death threats, doxing, and false allegations on how I handle the situation. I'll tell you how you handle it fucking terribly. I'll tell you straight up how you handle it. You handle it like terribly. You should not at all have taken just that as its word. So, you did your job badly. I pray to God, Keegan, that you did your fucking job better after this. That you did never just take a post as its word. I really hope anytime someone comes to you with stuff like this, that you don't take it as your word. And you ask for more information. Because if you don't, and if you keep doing shit like this, there's going to be more situations like this.
And Tito made a series of TikToks detailing his innocence. In these TikToks, he said that AJ and himself were sorry, but in this exact same video, he blames AJ for most of what happened.
I'm here to talk about my side of the story with the Inquisitor situation. And here are some messages that almost everybody knows about. And I'm being accused of wanting to call him out as a pedophile. Understand that I didn't want anything to do with this.
Baby, we need a reason for him to get canceled. It literally was a case of something so little that she, for some reason, took so brutally. My girlfriend's very sorry for this happen. She did not mean any harm to him. Bullshit! She did not mean any harm to him? The fuck do you mean she didn't mean any harm? Her whole goal was harm to him. Oh my god. Didn't mean any harm. What a bunch of bullshit that is. And I didn't want to ruin his life. That's the reason why I asked for more proof and for better evidence. I can make sure that, so I can make sure there's a reason I should talk about it. I didn't care at all about the hate going towards me because I know I did nothing wrong, but all this hate going towards my girlfriend is driving her to kill herself. She's gonna starve herself because of what happened to Inquisitor, and everybody's reacting to it. When she found out about what happened through the live, we both were praying about it. Again, she means no harm to anybody. I still disagree with that. She may have not wanted him to die or anything, but she definitely meant harm to him. She did not do that with the intention that he'd live a normal, happy life afterwards, so that's a fucking lie. I don't care what anyone says. She clearly meant harm to him. She'll get to everything that she said. I just hope that the Call of Duty community gets better soon. And another thing, people are spreading rumors that I'm 20 years old, she's 15. I just turned 18, and she's still studying for a few more months. Anyways, we were both sorry about what they... I heard the thing that you're 20. I think even Tragic Tales said that you're 20. Either way, if she is just 17, that's not as bad. I mean, still a minor, but don't make up false rumors for him. Just because she made false rumors about Inquisitor, don't make false rumors, but then don't play their fucking game to get revenge on them. Don't let them forget this. I don't want this forgotten. Don't let them forget this, that they did this. But don't play their game, because it makes you just as bad as they are. Tito and Keegan have both said, really? Okay. TikTok said, nah, you failed at your task. I'm surprised they both were to be. I thought Keegan would be the one that'd be able to talk their way out of it, out of all of them. But they said, nah, ban both of you.
Modern day social media is just evil. This harrowing tale goes to show what can happen when false accusations are made and when bullshit gossip spreads. Vincent's legacy as a cosplayer, a beautiful soul, and a cherished member of the TikTok community will continue to resonate in the memories in all those who knew him, and now in your memory, ensuring that he's never forgotten.
Bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. E se io muoio da partigiano, tu mi devi seppellire.
Supporting charity has got to be one of the most noble things that you can do. Donating money or pledging your time to a good cause is truly amazing. Whether you're participating in a charity marathon or perhaps even a sponsored head shave, all these acts of kindness have the ability to make significant changes. One inspiring example of such dedication was Brian Vignault, a 35-year-old father of 3 from Virginia. Now, Brian was known in the online gaming community as Poshy Brid. He had a dedicated following of around 7,000 fans on Twitch. His followers enjoyed watching him play World of Tanks, a game that he was actually really good at. He was described by those who knew him as generous, caring, and compassionate, always willing to help others. Now, Brian decided to use his platform as leverage to make some money for charity, so he decided to raise money by doing a 24-hour live stream of him playing World of Tanks, an engaging way to gather support and donations for a cause close to his heart. However, in the days leading up to the charity livestream, Brian had been engaging in marathon streaming sessions. These streams often lasted for 20 plus hours and would be back to back to back. During these streams, Brian survived on little to no sleep. He chain smoked cigarettes and drank alcohol to stay awake.
Dude, if you plan to do a 24-hour live stream, the one thing you should be doing is make sure you get sleep, make sure you're fed, make sure you got a thing. If I ever want to do a 24-hour live stream, which one day I would love to try to do, if I ever want to, I'm going to make sure I am prepared to the gills on how to do that shit. I don't know if it'll happen anytime soon, but I'll be prepared. I will make sure I am prepared for it.
On February the 19th, 2017, it was time for the charity livestream. As planned, Brian went live on Twitch for the planned 24-hour gaming session. As usual, the stream started with high energy and enthusiasm. With music blasting in the background, Brian interacted with his audience and enjoyed the gameplay. However, as the stream progressed, Brian got more and more lethargic. Around 20 hours in, it became evident to some keen watchers that something was deadly wrong. Brian appeared glazed over and was frequently passing in and out while playing. Despite his deteriorating condition, Brian continued to chain smoke, drink, and get more and more messed up. His viewers, unaware of the extent of his struggle, actually encouraged him to take breaks and rest. But he was determined to complete the 24-hour challenge. Now the stream was going as well as you'd expect until around 3:30 AM. Brian complained of feeling unwell and decided to take a quick smoke break. Strangely, he never returned to the stream. The broadcast continued, showing an empty room for hours on end. Viewers initially assumed that he must have fallen asleep due to exhaustion, a common occurrence during these long streaming sessions. It wasn't until around 7 PM the next day that one of his Twitch moderators noticed that Brian was online in Discord. He quickly messaged him to ask if he was okay, and the reply that came back was not from Brian, but from a police detective. During the conversation, it was revealed and confirmed that Brian had passed away. Paramedics had found him dead on the floor in his home. He must have gone off screen and passed away shortly after. Nothing could be done to save him. Now at first, his death was initially a mystery, with speculation around a stroke or heart attack due to the severe sleep deprivation. The BBC even did an article about how mysterious his death was.
I mean, it's mysterious because you don't know the answer, but it's not mysterious if it, like, I think police probably figured out pretty goddamn quickly just how he died.
And that the stream or lack of sleep must have contributed to his mysterious death. However, an autopsy later confirmed that Brian had not died from a lack of sleep, but from a fentanyl overdose. Sadly, what his friends and viewers were totally unaware of was that Brian was also struggling with a secret addiction to fentanyl, a highly potent and dangerous opioid.
So when he went off screen, he hit himself up with some fentanyl and overdosed? Is that what you're telling me? That's fucking insane. Like, that's actually insane.
Fentanyl is an opioid that is 100 times more potent than morphine and around 50 times more potent than heroin. By the time that people realise that they're hooked, it's often way too late. Brian had kept this habit a secret, consuming the drug off screen and suffering in silence. It just takes a pinprick of this powerful opioid to kill you. Just look at the deadly dose compared to heroin. Brian's tragic story serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of addiction and to take care of your health. On the morning of March the 25th, 2023, the quiet neighborhood of Columbus, Mississippi, was suddenly thrust into turmoil, tragedy, and despair. Inside a home in Green Tree Apartments, 28-year-old Khadijah Michelle Brown and her husband, Jeremy Brown, also 28, were engaged in a heated argument. Khadijah, who lived with Jeremy in Mississippi, along with their 4 kids, would often share aspects of her life with her friends on Facebook. That day of March the 25th, she began streaming herself sat in her bedroom on Facebook Live. Inside the house at the time was Khadijah's mother and their 4 kids. The broadcast began with Khadijah talking to the camera and ranting about Jeremy's behaviour, while her mother was cooking food for her children in the kitchen. The couple had been arguing throughout the night, and it was now early in the morning. In this argument, Jeremy basically said that he was leaving Khadijah, he left for his mother's house, and said that he would return later to get his stuff. And this is when Khadijah decides to go live. Khadijah and Jeremy's relationship had been marred by frequent disputes. Friends and family
My assumption is that he came back and took a life. Is that what's easy to assume? I don't think unless I'm incorrect. Actually, he might have on the first one. I was trying to think if there's ever been one where they filmed where the live stream is of someone killing someone. I think the first one, because they had the Facebook Live guy, because I'm pretty sure he would have to be on here.
Later revealed that there'd been a history of domestic disturbances between Khadijah and Jeremy, often involving intense arguments that would sometimes turn physical. But this one would tragically escalate beyond anyone's expectations.
Yeah.
On the live stream, Khadijah begins ranting, talking about Jeremy's bad behaviour. This is when Jeremy walks into the house, and instantly Khadijah begins screaming at him. You can hear on the live stream Jeremy attempting to de-escalate the situation by speaking to her in a measured tone, but Khadijah wasn't having any of it.
Yeah, people want to have something to say, but he ain't here with his kids. He ain't helping. He left at 6:00. He left at 6:06 to go be with his mama. Yeah, was you on the phone with?
Uncle, boom. I'm talking about uncle.
No, you ain't trying to get ready for work. Look at him. This is a sad case, y'all. He getting his stuff. Look at that. Sad case as a father.
Okay, Jeremy, what is the conversation you want to have?
We good.
Yeah, and your baby in the room.
Conversation you want to have?
We good.
I'm
What's up, man?
still asking what is the conversation.
Oh man, that's what I'm finna do. I'm finna get out. I ain't really trying to argue anyway. I'm just trying to get my...
No, you want to go tell your family about this and about that. You want to do this.
I'm trying to leave from over here and pee, man. I ain't trying to argue at all.
Let me take my car key off.
Jeremy can be heard trying to reason with Khadija, but she was relentless in her anger. The argument moved through different parts of the house, escalating with each passing minute. Jeremy's attempts to pacify Khadija was truly futile, and the situation just went from bad to worse. Shortly after entering, Jeremy tried to leave the apartment to de-escalate the situation, showing that he was trying to get out of there to stop the argument, and this is when it turned fatal. Suddenly, the livestream captured a dramatic shift in the argument's intensity. The phone, which had been broadcasting the dispute, was abruptly thrown to the ground. From the floor, the camera could now see the ceiling, but what you could hear is a scuffle between Khadija and Jeremy, and then, without warning, this happened. The audio that follows is disturbing, so viewer discretion is advised.
Oh, you ain't getting nothing. Everything in the top belong to me.
Y'all gonna have to start stop all this. Cause then y'all wonder why the kids.
He got shot. I heard him say, "I've been shot."
No, Jeremy! Jeremy! I didn't know one in the table! Jeremy!
Again, never point a gun thinking there's not one in the chair. Never do this shit. This dumb. Oh my god, this just angered me. I hate what. Why would you point a gun at someone and pull the trigger thinking there's not one in the chamber? Why would you do that in the first place? Go, send her to prison. She deserves it. Stupid. Judy, now just watch the dad. Dad is your Your daddy.
In the heat of the argument, Khadija had grabbed a 9mm handgun that was nearby and in a red haze, fatally shot Jeremy in the head. The children can be heard screaming out "Daddy" as he falls to the ground, and instead of screaming for Jeremy's well-being, Khadija instead shouted, "I don't want to go to jail," showing that her first thoughts at that very moment were not for Jeremy, who she'd clearly just fatally shot, but instead her self-preservation. Soon after, 911 was called, and despite immediate attempts to save him, Jeremy was pronounced dead at the scene. To think that this all unfolded in front of their kids, who had to watch their dad die right in front of them, is absolutely awful. Khadija was immediately arrested.
Those kids are going to remember that so clearly that it's going to fuck with their heads. It is going to mess with them. That is how, it's going to disturb them. They're going to remember that day like it's nothing.
Without incident and charged with his murder. She was taken to the nearest detention centre, where she awaited her court appearance. The livestream, initially intended to share Khadija's grievances so that she could rant to her friends, had turned into a live broadcast of a murder. Personally, I'm unsure if Khadija actually meant to kill her husband. Statements taken said that she later claimed that the shooting was accidental, saying, and I quote, "The gun went off during the struggle." But she shouldn't have reached for the handgun whatsoever. It shouldn't have been sat there loaded, ready to go. Khadija pulled the trigger, and ultimately, she should be held responsible.
100% agree.
In May of 2024, Khadija Michelle Brown was sentenced to 34 years in prison. The consequences of a split-second decision made in anger will now mean that Khadija will spend the majority of the rest of her life behind bars. Their 4 kids will now not have a mum or dad. A truly tragic outcome. Now this livestream begins on December the 4th, 2022, within the vibrant atmosphere of the Indra Chowk Market, an open-air market nestled in the heart of Kathmandu, Nepal. Now that day, within the bustling streets, was 29-year-old Gan Suzhong, also known as Fatty Goes to Africa on the Chinese version of TikTok, Douyin. Now Gan was a Chinese food blogger known on Douyin for his engaging content and his charismatic personality. He used his platform to show his life, visiting a variety of countries and immersing himself and his followers in the diverse food and culture. Gan would often go live on Douyin. His streams were known to be always full of energy, showcasing the sights, sounds, interactions, and the beauty of his travels. That day, as the sun pounded down from above, Gan, accompanied by 2 friends, had made their way to Nepal for one of Gan's culinary exploration content. The trio soon found themselves in the Indra Chowk Market in Kathmandu and decided to go live on Douyin, connecting to his 5 million followers. Now the stream began showing a lovely market buzzing with activity as Gan enthusiastically shared his experiences with his audience, capturing the essence of the unique scene around him. As he waded through the market, with its rich tapestry of culture and commerce, all on live, Gan sampled delicacies and engaged with vendors, his voice animated with excitement. The atmosphere was one of joy and connection, but it soon turned into one of despair. Suddenly, an unknown man came from behind Gan and stabbed him multiple times in the back and stomach. The beautiful, joyous atmosphere was shattered in an instant.
这不是什么珀莱雅吗？欧莱雅吧？欧莱雅的欧不是在前面，不然他的莱在前面。这叫莱欧。这个好喝吗？我也不知道怎么。就在前面。
Gan gasped and screamed and dropped his phone, staggering to the floor. The stream then shows the ground, with Gan's screams still ringing out. Panic and chaos enveloped the area as the man responsible for the attack continued stabbing and assaulting Gan profusely verbally in Chinese. His live viewers were forced to watch in complete agony.
Why? This guy's literally minding his own business. Why the hell does he randomly this guy just randomly go up and what the hell?
As this entire ordeal unfolded in front of their eyes, knowing that they were completely powerless to help him. There's footage online of Gan sat in the street trying to cover his stab wounds, while his attacker was still stood in the street swearing and screaming at him. Ambulances rushed to his aid. Unfortunately, despite the best efforts by doctors, he succumbed to stab injuries on his chest and stomach and died later that night. Gan's innocent live streams, meant to share his adventures around the world, had instead captured the tragic end of his life. News of the deadly attack spread rapidly, and it didn't take long for the police to catch who was responsible. The attacker was 37-year-old Feng Zhengyong. Preliminary reports indicated that Feng, who lived in Nepal, was also an internet celebrity. He apparently held a grudge against Gan due to multiple unspecified disputes and apparently some debts, and he wanted to teach him a lesson. Feng was quickly arrested and charged with first-degree murder, his actions condemned by the public and fellow influencers alike. Gan's death at the young age of 29 serves as a chilling reminder of all the potential dangers in the world of online fame. He was brutally stabbed in broad daylight. This could literally happen to any one of us at any time. So next time you post that video, consider who's watching and consider who is waiting. But that is the end of the video.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this reaction video. Let me know what you think in the comments. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all for the next one.